Hi Dave, I'm Bob Lorson. I've been asked to interview you in regards to your intents to running on the school board. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for that and welcome you.
Thanks, Bob. Nice to meet you for the first time.
Yes. Okay, I do have a list of questions that was given to me to ask you, and I'm going to start with the first one. After 10 years of living in Montoursville, you're relatively new to the community. Why do you care about this?
Well, perhaps it starts with when we first moved down here. A job brought me down here, and so our family moved down here and shopping for home, shopping for a place to live, and Montoursville, for starts, a small town. We're comfortable with that. We like a small town, so that was good. The schools, all in the community, all in the town. At least the schools our children would be attending. We like that. Community schools is very important to me. We liked what we saw in terms of residents keeping care of their homes, their properties. That said something to us about the heart of this town. One of my coworkers, when we were considering Montoursville, she said to me, you know, Montoursville is the kind of place that when you move there, you don't really want to move away. And we found that to be true. So the fact that we've grown to love Montoursville, the school district, the system, our church is here in town, all those elements have come together to make me realize that the school district's life in the community is really critical. And I want to see that life, that vitality and importance maintained and not ruined or perhaps, I don't want to say destroyed, but you know, not taken down.
Good, thank you. What makes you think you would be a better candidate than Denise Johns?
I think I'll let the voters decide whether I'm the better candidate, but let me say why I think I'm a strong candidate. 3 areas: previous board experience, life experience, and work experience. Previous board experience, 8 years on a board. Prior to that, sitting in a district's strategic planning committee, serving actually with Penn State as the chair of the technical advisory committee for Du Bois Penn State. Those kind of school-related experiences. You know, a new board member, it's information overload, and coming onto a board, there's so much to learn. Well, I'm up the learning curve quite a bit in that regard. So that prior board experience, I think, makes me a really strong candidate. Work experiences, professional experiences. I've had a variety of work experiences that have taken me into various industries, various engineering disciplines and engineering arenas, taken me into private sector and government work. And so I guess I have a pretty broad-based understanding on how those things play together, how policy and regulatory items and things like that can make you a better rooted candidate or board member to apply what you've learned to the job, because it is all applicable. Bringing those experiences to the board, it matters. And finally, and most important, I think, is just my life experience as a father, as a husband. I should put that at the top, and as a grandfather, and also as a son. My parents are up in age. Their health is faltering. They are on a single income. I understand what that means. I understand what it means to have parents who need your help, and my siblings and I do help them. But as far as the family life here in town, you know, 3 of our 7 grandchildren, we're raising them. Just unfortunate circumstances that brought them into our lives, but we're raising them, and we've grabbed a hold of that challenge. So those kind of personal things, I think you mold them all together, and I think you can bring those kind of experiences to bear on the decisions and your thinking and your thought processes when you're a board member.
Okay, you pretty much answered the next question, but I'm going to ask it anyhow and see if you want to elaborate on it a little bit. And that would be, how important do you think board experience is?
At this juncture in Montoursville's the school district life, if you will, having experienced board members is super critical. In some respects, the district is at risk, and having inexperienced people over the next 6 to 12 months making critical decisions, that will put the district at risk. And the district truly needs experienced people. My engineering background and facilities background and regulatory background and those kind of things, construction management background, that I think is really going to be a valuable asset for the next 6 to 24 months for the school district, given the project that's going to be beginning any time now. So a new board member, I've heard it said that it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's information overload. It's a very slow learning curve, and we can't afford as a district to have that occurring over the next 12 months.
Okay. Other candidates that you are running with are portrayed as aloof, and it is said that they do not listen. What makes you think that you can work with them?
My experience with those candidates hasn't been that they are aloof. I don't. That's not my take on it. That's not my read. That's not been my experience. As far as working with them, I've already been communicating some with them, and I believe that there are people that do listen. I think there's a mistake when it's said that people don't listen to us. I think it could be. I think maybe what's being said is that they don't do what I want them to do. And those are two different things. We can't elect board members expecting that they're going to be at our beck and call. They get on the board to bring their experience, their knowledge base to the board, and then they end up having more information before them than anyone in the public has. They have loads more information. We have to expect that they'll make decisions with all the information they have, which we don't have, and the decisions they make may go against what we think should be done. But we've got to remember, we don't have all the information. They do, and so I think there's an element of trust needs to be put into board members. After all, we did elect them, so if they're people, intelligent people, people of integrity, people that have been trusted, I think we have to rely on them to make good decisions and realize that just because they don't do what we want them to do doesn't mean they didn't listen.
The pre-bid letter that was handed out by Option 6 candidates, what do you think of that?
Mind-boggling. Just mind-boggling. Stunning. I don't know why anyone would want to actively sabotage the financial health of their school district, and that in fact is what happened with that. So it's unfortunate. That's being kind to say unfortunate. If there were legal recourse, I'd be in favor of that, but I don't think there is legal recourse in that matter. So.
Okay. Let's say you lose the election. Do you still remain involved?
Oh, absolutely, because we've come to love Montoursville area. The schools, our churches here in town. I work with youth group, our youth at church, and youth. I've worked with youth all my life in various formats. Baseball coach, primarily at church as youth leader, Sunday school teacher, that kind of thing. So I guess I have a sort of a track record, if you will, that the kids matter to me, and I've done things to try to build them up and make them stronger and make them ready for the future. So no, even if I'm not on the board, I'll be working with youth in the school, volunteering in whatever formats or places I can. I'll absolutely be involved.
Okay. All right, you took a tour of the high school. What did you think of it?
My August 23rd letter to the editor of the Sun-Gazette, I think that really lays out my experience and just the school. It no longer functions as an educational facility for high school students, and I want to put it in that context. It's not just a building that kids go to learn stuff. And it's not just a building that you dress up with paint and fix some things here and there, and new lighting here and there, whatever it might be. That's not an educational facility. The desperate need now is for the building served us for years, but now is the time to bring it up to becoming a complete, comprehensive, fully functioning educational facility. And I'd refer listeners to that letter. I think that laid it out very clearly, the needs of our school at this time.
All right. Next, what do you think is most lacking in the Montoursville School District?
Well, it's sort of staring us in the face. We have two schools that desperately need more than just a remake or a redo. They need brought up to the status of fully functioning educational facilities intended to do what they're supposed to do for the age groups that they serve. So Loyal-Sauk Valley, it needs serious work, and it needs more than just window dressing on it. The high school, again, that's a pressing, immediate need. You know, prior to those things cropping up, I've just been pleased with what I've seen at the schools where our children have gone to in terms of how the staff, the teachers, how our kids have experienced Montoursville School District life. I'm really pleased. I'm grateful to be here. So the immediate needs, though, are those two buildings. I think also as a district, I think those that would disagree with the direction the school's going, okay to disagree. A project like the high school, we should expect disagreement. But I'm afraid the nature of the attacks, the nature of things that have been said are eroding morale within the district. And I think we have to be really careful how we speak to each other. So I think the community needs to raise the bar on how we treat each other and speak to each other.
Last question. The board says that you have been in contact with them for a long time. Is that true?
Well, I'm not sure what a long time means. Now I've known a couple of the board members for a while, almost since I came here. But the more recently, in the spring, started contacting them by email, and just I've encouraged them to stay the course. I've publicly expressed appreciation to all the board members for their service, because I know what kind of a tough job it is, especially in a project like this with the debate that's going on. So I appreciate so much what they do, all of them. But I've been just mostly behind the scenes with emails, laying out information for them, empathizing with them, and encouraging them, because it's very easy to want to throw in the towel and these folks have remained strong, and I appreciate that they have done that very thing.
So you have been involved behind the scenes. So why have you done that? Just as a citizen, sitting back, why have you got yourself involved behind the scenes?
I think it goes back really perhaps to the first question, coming to Montoursville and seeing everything we saw in this community, the schools, our children's school life, and how much we have appreciated. We're raising 3 grandchildren. Now you can read between the lines and realize the circumstances surrounding that were difficult, and the school district has been marvelous with those kids. And I have a daughter who's a senior. Her experience at Montoursville since going back 10 years, she talks about, I want to come back to Montoursville after I graduate from college. Well, not sure if that'll be possible for her, but that's our sense of this community and this school district. And when you come away with that, let's call it a love for a district like that, you really feel compelled to do something constructive and meaningful in the life of the school district. So that's why I want to stay involved. That's why I want to be involved.
Dave, that's the extent of our questions, and I thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me in the first place and to share your answers with the community when they see them on the internet. Okay? Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.